Hi guys, so this is my analysis update on gold, guys. Before we start today's analysis, I'm gonna do a quick recap on gold just for us to know what we are expecting on gold. If you watch my previous analysis, I think we were around this zone. Let me zoom out a little bit. We were around this zone area right here, and I said there's a possibility that we might push to the upside on gold, right? Just because of the momentum I was seeing, right? We're around this zone right here, and if you look left, we have, let me zoom in a little bit. If you look left, we have we have rejected around this area multiple times. So just because we're around that area, there's a possibility for it to actually tank to the upside, right? And I was predicting it to tank to the upside. I said there's a possibility continue to reject around this area and continue to tap to the upside. But as you can see that we went up a little bit, we went down a little bit to give us this fake out. So there was this down right here to give us this fake out, which was a fake out. Then we tank up a little bit, broke the structure right here, but we didn't get to our TP right here, and we continue to tank to the downside, right? We also came down here, right, to give us like a fake out around that area right here, push up a little bit, push down before tanking to the upside. So gold was actually like a roller coaster around this area right here because it was given like a choppy range, right? It was given a choppy range. So if I draw a zone right here too, we can see that it came down here, went up here, came down here, went up here, even despite the fact that it faked out, right? So this was a fake out. So this is what we call fake out, and this was a fake out as well, because it's a fake out because we can see that we respected the zone, but not exactly the zone, right? It is not as this one, which is like we rejected around the zone, we didn't even close out of the zone, right? But we can see that this one closed out of that zone, and it gives people impression that we might continue to sell. So those that started selling around that zone will possibly be taken out, right? So some people will believe this is a sell just because of this candlestick that closes below the zone. So we might think this is a sell for us to continue to push to the downside, and we can see that we just tank to the upside as well, right? And we can see some people too might buy from this area right here as soon as we break the zone. If I go to more smaller time frame, right, we can see that this candle was like a good candlestick, right? So as soon as we broke this area right here, some people might think that we might continue to push to the upside, and they might take their trade around this area right here. And what did happen was we can see that it came down, it just continued to push to the downside, and this was a fake out as well based on this zone we are seeing. So this was certainly a very chubby area right here, and it was playing with people's emotions right around this area right here. But as we can see, we came down here as well to give like a possible fake out here, came up a little bit, tanked down, right, down to this level right here before we continue to push to the upside. Before we continue to push to the upside to hit my target, which was 2040.9199. Even despite the fact that the market was going crazy, we still hit my target right there. We can see it came up down to this level right here, give us a third touch around this area, because my next possibility was for sale was 2009.182. that was my sell, but we can see that we didn't get around this area. So gold really played with her mind this area right here, because we can see we had this first touch, second touch, this is also a third touch, right, but a fake out as well, because as soon as we did not wick around this trend line, right, some people will have been misled and take trade around this area to continue to push to the downside based on this candlestick right here to continue to push to the downside. But as you can see that it was just a fake out. We continue to tank to the upside to actually hit my target, which was 61.8% fib level. So this trade was a roller coaster, to be honest, because it was playing with people. So now let's delete my analysis right here on gold, and let's reanalyze gold based on the current market. Let's delete the zone as well. Let's see. So I'll go to my bigger time frame and reanalyze gold, just like I like to do top down analysis. So this is a weekly time frame, right? We can see currently, if you've been watching my analysis previously, I was predicting, let's adjust this one right here. I was predicting gold to push to the downside, right? But as we can see, this candlestick, I don't know how this candlestick will close, but be mindful that this is the weekly time frame. And I don't know how this candlestick will close yet for us to know, but I was predicting some sort of like an impulse, a sort of a correction push to the downside, right? Overall, but like we know the market can do what it wants to do. So there is a possibility we might push up a little bit, but let's see how this candlestick closes, because it might just, by the end of the week, we might actually close down with weak rejection right here. So there's a possibility that we might still continue to push to the downside. So let's go to more smaller time frame. Let me go to my daily time frame right here. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. So like I said, we might push up a little bit, maybe to hit my 38.2% fib level right here, reject around that area to continue to tank to the downside. That's a possibility. Another possibility, we may push up a little bit to my 50% fib level right here to give us a touch of the trend line before tanking to the downside. So those are like two possibilities I am currently seeing run around this area right here. This is overall, this is the daily time frame, so it might either be either both for us to continue to push to the downside. So let's go to my 4-hour time frame and see. So we can see even in my daily time frame, I'm still seeing more momentum of it pushing to the upside overall, because we can see that we broke the previous structure right here. So it's giving us some sort of like a higher high right around this area. So we are continuing to see like this higher high right here, but there's a possibility that we might tank down a little bit, so a little bit before we continue to push to the upside. So let's say this area right here, there is this 4-hour imbalance right here. Let's annotate that just to know where that is coming from. So we have 4 hours imbalance. So we have that already. So there's a possibility we might push down right here, retest that zone before pushing to the upside. That's a possibility I am currently seeing. So let's go to my smaller time frame, just because we can see that there is still bulls in the market. Look at this area right here. We can see this engulfing candlestick right here around this area. So certainly there is bulls in the market, but we know the market doesn't just go one way or straight, right? We have like an impulse and correction. So there's a possibility for it coming down around this area right here, for us to continue to tank to the upside. That's a possibility. So I'm definitely more biased on a buy rather than a sell on gold overall. Like you see, overall I'm definitely more of that, right? So first, like I said, I think we might come down here. Remember, there's this imbalance right here as well. So this imbalance comes from the 4-hour imbalance, but as we can see that we're an intraday trader, so we might not get to that level instantly. But my highs currently is maybe around my 23.6% fib level, which is 231.175. We might get to that level, retest that level, then continue to push to the upside. That is my scenario right around this here right here. So let me just draw my scenario. We might come here, then push to the upside. This will be my first instant and TP right here. So my TP right here will be 656 656 will be my first TP, and my second TP overall based on my bigger time frame will certainly be around this area right here, right? 58.65. That will be my next TP, but we have to take it one step at a time, guys. So that is my thoughts right now on gold, guys. I think we might fall down a little bit to get to this area right here before pushing to the upside, but let's also be mindful. If I have a line right here, be mindful this was the last break of structure we have, right? So let's see. So we have this break of structure to the left, let's see, top. So let's be mindful we have this break of structure as well, right? So there's a possibility that we might not push down to 2033 before pushing to the upside. We might just get to around this area right here, which is 2034.977. So there's a possibility, let's just draw it, we might just get here, then continue to push to the upside. That's a possibility we are seeing. So let's just be open-minded in the market, right? And my last instance is we might come from here, get to my bigger time frame, which is the 4-hour time frame right here, before pushing to the upside. So remember, there is this 4-hour imbalance right here. This is why we have it right here. So these are like instances that we might start rejecting off of. So first of all, this will be my first point of interest. Then if I see candlestick closes below that zone, then there's a possibility for us to continue to tank to the downside. Then secondly, this will be my second point of interest, right? And if I see candlestick closes below that zone, then this will be certainly my third point of interest, my number 3 point of interest right here. So that is what I'm expecting right now on gold, guys. Hope you guys find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share, and I'll see you in my next analysis, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.